to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu, waifu. Ma, tell him, is that you? Oh, I should have used my telly man this week.
Hey, you know what? Because that Chameleonaire stuff was hard, bro.
Chameleonaire dropped a verse for the first time in like 10 years.
It was so good.
It was insane. This is episode 160 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. As always, is brought to you by Lube Complex. Make sure you go to lubecomplex.com. Use that offer code waifu to save. Of course, they always have new collections out, so check out lubecomplex.com. There's another new collection out. When you go there and you check out, use that offer code waifu to save on your entire cart. It's also brought to you by don'ttalkshop.com as well as our Patreon producers. Hey, shout out to AB Aaron Brown. He sent me a trailer of that Marauder shit. I can't wait. We're gonna be playing that. Dre the Goat G, Johnny from Anime Lytical Podcast, Cat the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast, Explicitly, Monique Williams, and our boy Nachi. Thank y'all so much for supporting the podcast. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all very, 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 very much. Mic Check Waifu Waifu is the anime podcast. Is brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CDT. We cover seasonal anime. We basically bring you anime that we feel you should be watching to help you expand your horizons. That's kind of the purpose of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. We're not here to just shit on anime all day or say anime is great all day. We're just here to give you something that you can watch either weekly or bi-weekly. If you're watching stuff weekly with us, make sure you stick around for our second half of the show where we do spoiler talk for a certain amount of shows. And I think this week we got to actually determine what our spoiler talk shows are. Obviously, we're keeping Summertime Rendering. That's a given. It's always going to be there. Shout out to Moody, who finally watched it, which I knew was a show she was going to love because she also loves Steins Gate. I'm still waiting to hear from Sine from Blaname Podcast, because she also loves Steins Gate, and I absolutely know she'll love Summertime Rendering. So,
you know what's wild about that? You said Moody?
Yeah.
Moody is the reason I heard about Summertime Rendering.
What?
Yeah, because she was talking about it. She talked about it,
and she didn't even watch it until recently.
Didn't even watch it. That's wild.
Crazy, ain't it? Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to everybody that's at DreamCon. I believe it's going on right now, right? Or something like that.
It's coming this weekend.
This weekend. So everybody that's going to DreamCon this weekend, make sure y'all be safe. Take care of one another. Shout out to, if you're going, make sure you check out Anime After Dark CH. There's a panel there at 9:30, I believe, at the DreamCon place. So if you're in DreamCon in Arlington, Texas, make sure you go say what's up to our friends over at Blaname Podcast and Words Generation Podcast doing that Anime After Dark. Congratulations, y'all, on that panel. I wish we could be there to see it. That would be the only reason. When they got that panel, I'm like, damn, now I wish I would have went.
Right. Also, y'all stay masked up.
Yeah, stay masked up and just...
And live that life. Y'all on the panel. Go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, have a good time, but be safe. Have a good time, but be safe for sure. All right. So this week, summer shows is finally in full effect. There's like maybe one more we're still missing, but we can talk about that later down the road. Today we're going to discuss like what we think our surprise is going to be just off of episode 1, okay, of the summer shows, or in some cases 2. What we think about the newer stuff, like the recurring stuff, like Overlord and Classroom of the Elite. So far, we're only going to discuss the first episodes of those, and more. Let's do this, Tell. But first, before we get into that, tell them, what is your episode of the week?
I'm not saying Summertime Rendering because that's too easy every single fucking time.
Obviously, it's great, right?
Because I can say Summertime Rendering every week, right?
That's a fact.
Ayawashi.
Interesting.
The soccer anime, man, it's so good, man. It's how they relay emotion, how our main character deals with it. how he overcomes the emotions and then just getting into it. This episode, we didn't even see any soccer being played. It was all about the thought process in this anime, and it was great. I love this episode.
Okay. What's funny is that my biggest surprise that we're going to discuss later is different from my episode of the week. And the reason being is that because I want to save this for talking about it later, but I'll give my episode of the week to Black Summoner. Black Summoner is one that it actually shocked me with the way it developed its world at the beginning.
Wow. I'm sorry.
You what?
I didn't even watch it.
Fuck. I didn't even. When we were talking about what we watched.
It's cool. Talk about it. It's cool.
I didn't even think about it. Okay. Black Summoner, extremely fucking interesting the way they doing this. Okay. So the difference between this and something like My Isekai Life, is that what it's called?
Yeah, My Isekai Life.
Yeah, My Isekai Life. The difference between this and that is this is something where he gets summoned to this world with he asks to not have his memories from his prior life, because what that did was that gave him the ability to have extra stats going into whatever this new world is. So whatever his old life was, we have no fucking clue about it. Damn, this kind of sucks. I mean, I guess it's the first fucking 30.
It's the first episode. We'll be cool.
Yeah, it's the first 45 seconds of the episode in general itself. But he said that, well, during the episode, we determined that he also has the class of a summoner, which is extremely rare in this world. And and he requested, which we don't know how he did this or why he did this, but he requested that the goddess that sent him to this world come with him. So he has her right now as a menu. She's basically a narration menu until he's strong enough to summon her. But from episode 1, they already established how to gain power, how the world magics work, and they determined that by the goddess explaining everything to him, because he requested that his memory get erased, obviously. And he's just here. He was just plopped down here, and from moment 1, he does his first fight, and his first fight, funny enough, is, we're gonna talk about My Isekai later, but it's a slime, and the first thing he does was create a contract with a slime, and then that's how he determines on how his stats are attributed to the stuff he can make contracts with. But in this one, I can already predict where this is going to go. He's going to make contracts with some other characters that's going to make them powerful because of his stat distribution, which is going to be super fucking unique. And the character himself, his what's the word I'm looking for? His I guess his character, like him as a character, he's extremely I wouldn't call him level-headed, but he's
analytic.
Yes, not as analytic. He's not Shiro analytic like from Log Horizon or no shit like that. But he's just cool. He's just a cool cat. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like My Isekai Life, but not as monotone. He's more vibrant and full of life. And I'm interested to see where he's going to go. He said to the goddess when he was summoned, at least according to the goddess, because again we don't see this yet, that he's gonna fall in love with her again. The reason why he wanted to bring her with him, because he fell in love with her. It's great.
But he don't even know that.
He don't even know that anymore. That's correct. He completely forgot he did any of that. But it's extremely interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going, because the animation looks fucking phenomenal. I was looking to see what studio did it, and it looks actually really good. Satellite Studios. Satellite Studios. That's interesting. Okay.
I'm sorry. I really meant to watch that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's actually a really good one. Super interesting so far. But yeah, that's my episode of the week this week.
So, all right. This week.
Wait, before we do that, what can you say now that for springtime, let's fucking eliminate summertime murdering, because we know that was my episode. That was my sleeper, so we can't pick that. For spring, before we get into more summer stuff, though, what was your biggest surprise of the spring season that you've watched? Tough question.
Let's say I mean, And I know you haven't watched it, but it's probably my episode of the week this week, Ayawashi. It's just been, for me, consistent. It's been good. And I know not everybody is on the sports anime train, right?
Yeah,
but it's really good. And I felt like Spy Family was expected to be good.
Absolutely.
Summertime Render, and once it started hitting, I was like, damn, that's good. We expected that. Well, not expected that, but once it got good, it just stayed good.
Yeah, it was a sleeper.
So Ayawashi is probably the best out of that season for me. That was like, I didn't expect it to be that good.
Damn.
But it's still ongoing right now. Technically, it's still got like 11 more episodes to go.
Oh damn. To be honest, man, there's quite a bit of surprises here. Like, you got Love After World Domination. That was a huge surprise. Ended up being good. Really fucking good. Skeleton Knight in Another World, I end up enjoying, even though it was like kind of like turn my brain off and watch. But I mean, it still had enough development and story for me to actually enjoy it. Trapped in a Dating Sim, obviously, was one that we both were shocked by. But to be honest, for me, and this is going to segue into kind of what I want to talk about, because it's this particular show in general that's pissing me off with the anime fandom in general. It's Shikamori Not Just a Cutie. Okay, and this ain't got nothing to do with Saphir. Saphir is our homie. That's my boy. We had a Twitter conversation about how he dropped it after like episode 3 or something like that. But a lot of people dropped.
I ain't heard nobody saying anything bad about that.
Shikamori Not Just a Cutie, for some reason, gets an extreme amount of vitriol from like the AniList based. Okay, they still gave it a 69% on AniList, which is unusual for something that they actually hate. But for Shikamori Not Just a Cutie, this makes me want to go into a slight polo rant. So forgive me if I do talk too much.
Go ahead.
I got to get this off, because as I said, for this new season, year 3, I'm not holding shit back. Shikamori Not Just a Cutie is a slice of life anime. Now, what is a slice of life anime? Slice of life anime is an anime that's based off the slice of life. Okay, so obviously you have adulthood, you have people going to work and going through problems at work, and some romance pops up, or not even a romance period. It could just be work issues, or it could be little ass kids going camping. There's an anime like just kids going camping and having fun in the outdoors, and it's literally just pure slice of life. This one is just the high school life of a guy who has really bad luck with a girlfriend who just happens to be not just a cutie, but talented in many other different ways with how she grew up. That's it. Right. There's nothing else. There's no major problem. There's no shadow house. There's no antagonist. There's no villainy. There's no problem per se, like cheating or death or fire or anything like that. There's nothing. There's just this adorable couple doing adorable shit with this guy who just happens to have terrible bad luck, and they experience high school. And it is by far one of the most wholesome yet still very entertaining shows that you could have watched this spring season. This show did stuff to me that like had me like it's not, again, Comey Can't Communicate to me is a perfect 10. It's a perfect 10 slice of life anime. So I'm hold that there. But Shikamori Not Just a Cutie is up there for me as far as its entertainment value, as far as its romance, as far as its characters, like the 4 main characters that you spend most of your time with. You absolutely enjoy them as people. Like, I want y'all to understand this as a slice of life fan myself. I would consider myself an aficionado of slice of life. Slice of life do not always have to have some sort of drama. It does not always have to have some sort of death or carnage or cheating or just fucking a thriller. It doesn't have to have any of that. It could just be a slice of life that is just fucking life. That's it. That's it.
So that's what you believe the issue is that they don't know what the definition of a slice of life is.
Correct.
They expect the subgenre attached to the slice of life. They're like slice of life / drama, not slice of life, and that's just it.
Yes.
They're like I want the drama context with it. Why don't you just stick to drama? Because that is still slice of life. But look for that subtext. That's what you want. You don't want the slice of life. You don't want the feel good, chill, relaxing.
Yes.
You want a little bit of chaos, right?
Exactly.
Cool. If y'all want that, go with that. Go find that. It's not hard to find. You can go to like AniList, like we use, and search on genre.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's right there.
You got stuff like Kaguya-sama Love is War. That's psychological. Like that's a psychological game between two people who are trying to get inside of each other. That's way more than Shikamori Not Just a Cutie even has.
Way more dramatic.
Way more dramatic. But it's just nice. It's just a nice show to turn on when you chilling. And I want people to understand that that is what slice of life is. Okay, slice of life isn't always what you guys expect it to be, but still give it a chance. You could do the 3-episode rule if you want to, but with this rant in you guys' mind, do the 3-episode rule and understand what I'm saying, because yes, this is a slice of life that isn't doing anything, quote unquote. Again, this is not a shot at you, Fear. I know you listen. I appreciate you. But he was like, there's just nothing going on. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what a slice of life is. It's just life. But you can still enjoy it. So check out Shikamori Not Just a Cutie. It had a couple of episodes of the week for me during the spring season. Big surprise. Now, staying with the spring season, what was your biggest letdown, Tell? Something that you looked at from when we did our 2022 summer preview that you was like, oh shit, this looks like it's gonna be dope. But it's not gonna be dope,
man.
Or that it wasn't dope.
Hold up, let me see. Let's look here. Oh
shit! I scooted up. I got get my head cut off in the camera. Shout out to y'all.
I watched one episode of Black Rock Shooter, but that was not. I didn't expect that to be good. I just gave it a chance. When was Orient? That was that season, right?
No, that was 2 seasons ago.
That was 2 seasons ago? Cause sheesh. That's still on my mind.
I done forgot all about that shit. For me, I'll just say, something that we expected to be good that wasn't. The biggest disappointment, obviously, is Rising of the Shield Hero. It ended better than it started, but I lost Tail. It ended better than it started, though. There you go. It ended better than it started, but it was still garbage.
Right.
Overall.
Right. But yeah, that's all I got. Is the Bubble movie and Rising of the Shield Hero. The
Bubble movie is what you said. Okay. Yeah, your mic got cut out before. Okay. The Bubble movie.
My bad.
Yeah, that movie was yikes.
It wasn't the worst. Like Monique loved the movie, but I was in there like, of course she loved this shit.
I was not impressed.
I could not believe that she loved it this much.
It was funny because to recollect on that episode that we did of Bubble Popped, I think it was called. I mean, I was just knowing you were gonna be like, oh, this shit was so dope. And when I was gonna come through, I thought I was gonna be the shocker of the two of us, and like, yo, this shit just wasn't that great. And you end up feeling the exact same way.
Right.
I was actually blown back by that.
What was your biggest disappointment?
Oh, I said it already when your mic cut out, or your headphones cut out, or wherever it was. It was Rising of the Shield Hero.
Oh yeah, because we agreed on that. That was it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay as fuck.
Towards the end, it got better, but at the beginning, that shit was, yes, it was bad. It was real bad. All right, man. That's it for spring. Now to the summer. Tell you were saying something before I rudely interrupted you, and you went back in time.
Pretty rudely. So hear me out. Right, I binge watched 2 anime this week. One was Classroom of the Elite.
Yes.
And the other was The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Oh yes. Okay. Damn, you got them both in?
Yeah. Well, I only had like 4 episodes of Classroom of the Elite.
Oh.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I hate Classroom of the Elite.
You're crazy.
I swear to you, it was one of the least interesting anime I feel like I've ever watched in my life.
Wild to me.
I feel like the anime, it was like almost a worse Tamagotchi game.
What?
It was so okay as fuck, bro. I felt
crazy.
I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm like, I watched it in dub because I was like, I'm gonna watch it in dub. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna just binge through it. And I'm watching it. And I'm just like, oh my god, I could live without this.
That is crazy.
Now, I did watch the first episode, and I have a different feeling about season 2 than I have about season 1. And I'm just gonna be, I'm gonna leave that there. But season 1 for me, like after watching that, I was like, okay, there's some interesting things here. But I even had to rate it on AniList after I finished it, and I gave it like a 4.8 or something like
disgusting.
that.
You are absolutely disgusting.
That shit was bad, bro.
I never heard Tell be so wrong before. Okay.
Hey, call me wrong, but let me talk about Devil's a part-timer first.
Okay. That shows.
Now, Devil is a part-timer. Also very disappointing. It was the most predictable anime I've watched.
Yeah, but it's not about that.
I understand. Hear me out. It was the most predictable anime I've watched in probably the last like 10 years or so. But I'm not saying it was bad. I don't think it was bad by any means.
You said it was bad, by the way. I just want to make sure. I want to get that out there. You said it was bad. Did I say
it was bad?
It was also bad. That's what you said.
It was bad. Okay. I gave it like a 6.
That is crazy as fuck.
Because I had to feel like I'd be willing to rewatch it for me to give it something higher than that. I would not rewatch season 1 again, bro.
What the fuck?
The Devil is a Part-Timer was okay as fuck. It was better than a 5. It was better than average. It was like a 6. It was like a 6.7 or some shit like that, bro. It was okay as fuck.
I don't know where his taste went, y'all. I don't
understand how people enjoyed that, bro.
You are crazy.
Like, it was cool, and it was like the moments that were really cool for me were just when the art style changed or something like that. It was never anything like the relationships between the characters. Like, their relationships were not great, bro.
It's a fucking it's a parody spoof of the isekai, man. There's no fucking way you feel this way.
I get that. I get what it's supposed to be. I get what it's supposed to be. That doesn't mean it was executed well in my eyes.
Okay. So let me just say this. I obviously feel completely different than Tell do on both these shows. Both these shows give stuff that is extremely unique into what it is. Everybody knew that Classroom of the Elite was fucking excellent world building. It's an entire setup for what the school is and what they're trying to execute with this school, and from there it gets pushed to the next fucking level. So I will give you what you feel about Classroom of the Elite, even though I feel that's also wrong. And like fucking shout out to the voice of Deku, who voiced the dub version of Ayokanoji or some shit like that. I forgot how you say his name, but he killed that role, even though he's supposed to just be monotone.
You saw the dub, right?
Yeah.
His dub, the dub voice actors, most of the guys' voices were great, but some of the women's voices were like grating.
Yeah, some of them. I agree with that, but like he Justin Briner, I think his name is, from Deku from My Hero. He killed that voice because he's supposed to be monotone and just fucking analytical as hell. But that's about the world building, so I'll let you get away with that one, because in season 2 you're gonna obviously change your mind, and I already know that. But
yeah, I've already, like I said, the first episode for me already seemed just better. Like they got into it, and the details felt better.
It's deeper. It gets deeper. It's going to get deeper.
It could be something that we said before. We said it before, that sometimes that setup is important because then it gets better. Like, because I remember when I talked about My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu.
Yeah,
I really didn't care much about that first 6 episodes, and then it felt like, bam, this is my shit.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel that almost the entirety.
I can excuse the Classroom of the Elite because I feel like that's world building at a lot. I don't know if a lot of nobody feels the way you feel about that, but I digress. Now, Devil is a fucking part-timer is all about, if it's all about the fucking comedy. It's all about the comedy.
It wasn't funny.
It was hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. The fact that he was put in the situations that he was put in with the people he was put in, and the way the comedic beats for me personally was some of the best. Obviously, the fact that it's a reverse isekai where you have somebody from another world come into our world and literally living that normal life was fucking phenomenal. It gives you stuff that you're supposed to think about other isekais and go, oh, this is the predictable trope that they're going with from the regular isekais into this normal, and they try to normalize it. It was so fucking hilarious when you think about it in that perspective that I laughed out loud about 6 or 7 times during the show. And for me, I'm like, this shit is dope. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It was like, as soon as like they introduced all his demons that help him, and I'm seeing this fight, and I'm like, okay, this shit is just kind of dope. And then I see them go to the other world, and I'm like, in my mind, the first thing I think is Lucifer is gonna be the one to attack him. Lucifer gonna be working with the church. I'm thinking in my mind, like, this is exactly what's about to fucking happen.
His ass fucking
he did though, got spanked. But I was like, so like, and that's why I'm saying I didn't completely hate it. I just didn't think it was. I didn't think it was good, bro. I didn't think it was good.
It was so.
I thought it had some good moments.
That's crazy.
I thought it had some good moments. Like, I loved when Zariel got his ass whooped, bro. I loved it, but it wasn't enough for me to say like, okay, this is a 7 out of 10.
It's just great for me to see how the struggles, right, of this one of the most powerful beings in the underworld or whatever world he came from was just fucking struggling at Whack Arnold's. It was so good. It's so good. Okay,
but
we'll let you have this too.
The coolest concept about it, and this is what I'll say, this is my favorite part about the show, was that he was actually caring.
And he was trying to become a manager. He was trying to fucking work hard. She was. That was
the manager part. All that stuff. That's cool. The actual caring part, though, that like it was almost like it was a facade to say, I'm the manager of these people, so I got to do it. He didn't have to fix the city. He didn't have to care about those people in the city.
No.
But he still did it, and he could have just went back to his work, left her there.
Yep.
Waited till she had time or got her power to try and go there. He could have fucked up, what's that called? Into Isla. Okay. And then she got back. He already got power. He already got power and been like, all right, look, I done already wiped out all your backup.
Dude, just remember
Lucifer, Alciel, or I don't know where the other dude is, but we here. Well, he had 2 other people. Mm-hmm. I don't know where my other 2 people at, but it's 3 of us now. We about to jump you. And I'm just like,
you bring me back. I'm feeling nostalgic about it now. I'm feeling, love it.
Don't rewatch it. It ain't worth it.
It is, man. It is. Totally
I'm sorry, man. I'm being petty.
And it's I get it. It's because I went petty on your Shadow House. I understand.
No, it ain't about that though. I swear it's not. I promise it's not. I'm
gonna be true with you. I couldn't even finish episode 1 of Shadow House season 2. I'm like, I gotta turn this shit off because they're already doing what I was talking about the week before about Shadow House. Just talking too fucking much. Shut up. Let me figure this shit out.
The difference is though, is like, I guess I completely get that, right? Like I completely get why Shadow House can turn people off.
Shut the fuck up. Let me experience what you're trying to build here. Right. I can't experience it if you just talking too fucking much.
I just expected. I guess I expected more from it.
I understand.
That was a part timer. And Classroom Elite. And the thing is it was funny is I've honestly tried to watch Classroom Elite like 3 or 4 times before this. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my opinion on it is almost justified now after actually watching the whole thing and like gritting my teeth through it. I just feel like it's worse than I thought.
Yeah, I think that's some of the best world building for a show like this ever, to be honest. Because like I said, it gets deeper.
So even if the world building is a 10, right? Like, I don't think for me there were enough enjoyable characters.
What's the biggest mystery about Classroom Elite to you? Let me see what's the biggest mystery for you?
the biggest mystery for me. I mean, it's our main character, more or less. Like, what's his background, and his connection to like his dad, obviously, because obviously he has family connected to this school, and how he progresses. I guess that's more or less how I look at it. It's just the scale to moving forward. Why is the school even set up this well? I guess more or less that's not that. Yeah, but it's like moving forward. Like when we get to the point where we're moving forward like this, like why is this certain person, I guess, such a pivotal? I guess we kind of know a little bit of that too. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as engrossed in the mystery.
That's what it is. Yeah, there's something bigger with not just the school. Obviously, the school is fucking weird.
Yeah, I think it's outside of the school.
It's some people inside of the school that is even more mysterious than our main character. I mean, completely more mysterious. That you'd be like, okay, so you know what this is the classroom of the elite. These are the elite of the elite. So why is this person this way? Why is that person this way? Why is this person that way? When we know that this school is based off the elite. Understand that with the school being the elite, you still got these people who are portraying themselves not to be. I guess the cover is always different from the insides. Let's just say that
and I guess I get that too, because when you look at the concept of the school, right? People are being, I guess, almost like snakes in grass. Like, it's a facade, you know? A lot of people are probably way better, way smarter than they think. And then people think and they just don't show it. So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what everything is. I'll just, like I said, I feel like from the first episode of season 2 already, I guess how they laid it out just was better for me. But it also seemed reminiscent of season 1. I think it's just coming off the coattails of season 1. I was just like way more interested in season 2. I guess I was prepped, ready to go, get active.
I don't know.
We don't see it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, back to summer. My biggest surprise. What was your biggest surprise so far for episode 1s of the stuff you watched so far? What do you think is going to be your biggest surprise? Now, obviously, obfuscating your fucking sleepers. Sleeper don't count.
So, for what I watched, I'm gonna have to go with. God damn. All right. I will go with that first episode of Call of the Night was kind of interesting for me. And I know that's your sleeper.
Yeah,
but
it ain't yours, so you can pick it.
It's not my sleeper. I was that anime for me is fucking gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I could stare at it alone and I could be good. Not to mention anything else. But it's gorgeous. And that was enough for me in terms of like the to stay drawn in. But to kind of see how things going and just to get more information. I'm not gonna say I'm 100% dialed in on it yet, but I do love how it looks. I had to go with something that was probably just, I guess, keeping me more enthralled in general is what is it called? Licorice Recoil. I'm gonna say that's probably my biggest surprise so far, and I picked it up because Dad Needs to Talk podcast. We appreciate you, bro. When I shared that thing on our Instagram, he said he picked up something from A1 Pictures, and this was the one. So I turned it on to watch it. Told him I was gonna watch it, and I was gonna tell Polo. This one, the way that these characters are, right, is just like how they carry themselves in terms of action. It's an action anime, but we have a character in this anime who is trained and taught to kill, but it has a history of killing. Apparently, she was like the best killer in this like syndicate, essentially. and now she's completely against it. She does like rubber rounds and stuff like that. And when an enemy gets hurt, she'll actually stop and do what she can to keep them from dying, and then she'll go on about her day. But it's how she moves, because she getting shot at by fully automatic weapons, and she just kind of like, it's almost like the Matrix, but she's just looking at you dead in the eyes and moves slowly. So it's really dope. I like how this is playing out.
Is it A1 Pictures?
It's A1 Pictures.
Like, I know. Is it like? But do you feel?
Yeah, I feel it's not super overly animated, but the little particle effects and stuff like that happen, you're like, yep, that's A1 Pictures.
That's what they do. Yeah. That's funny. I mean, for me, I know it was going to be my surprise. Obviously, this should have been my sleeper. Not that Call of the Night is bad, but obviously, I'm with you on the fact that it didn't get me as a first episode until the very end. The very end is when I'm like, oh shit, okay, interesting now. But for me, this shit fucking kind of blew my mind when I watched this first episode. I'm like, what? And what
was that?
And this is what I was going to pick as my episode of the week, but I decided to save it for this particular portion, and that's Parallel World Pharmacy, bro. Holy...
Something I gotta watch.
Yes, bro. You have to watch this. Okay. And just to give you a little taste. Okay. So it starts off with a pharmacist. He's an adult man working his job. He's working his job extremely hard. He's one of the best pharmacists that the modern world has seen, because he's giving cures for just all kinds of diseases. But he's doing that unintentionally, because what he's trying to do is cure his little sister. His little sister has an illness, and he's literally working himself to the fucking bone trying to find this cure for his sister's saddest shit ever. But he's working extremely hard. He's working, and he finally thinks he figured out the formula to save his sister, but he has to let a medicine that he's cooking up, I guess if you will, sterilize. So he sets the timer for about 46 minutes. Lays down on the couch and dies from exhaustion. Just dies. He's just gone. Then that's literally the first 30 seconds, the first minute and a half of the show. Then it's obviously an isekai, Parallel World Pharmacy. He gets awakened, and again, this is something that I absolutely love about this. And when shows do this and do it well, he gets awakened from this what looks to be a maid. The maid wakes him up and says, Master Farmer, are you okay? Master Farmer, are you okay? He wakes up. He's like, Master Farmer, who the fuck is she talking to? He says, I'm okay. And his voice cracks because he realized that he's this fucking little kid now. And basically what happened, he gets transported to this parallel world as somebody else. So he basically replaces somebody else because, and this is just episode 1, so I'm going to spoil episode 1, but this is just get you guys interested in watching it. But he takes the memories of the kid Master Pharma, because Master Farmer gets struck by lightning and essentially dies. So the kid dies, and then he gets replaced by the pharmacist from a parallel world. And basically getting to this world, he has obviously don't know where he is. The maid chick is like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? You're awake, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, but what the hell is going on? Basically, she's like, well, did you lose your memory from when you were struck by lightning? And then he just kind of went along with it. And basically it starts with them, again, doing an extremely good job of world building with them explaining to him, like, this is who you are. This is your, trying to help him regain his memories. But in that accident, something happens to Master Pharma, which is crazy. I mean, fucking insane. When he gets struck by lightning, he is, don't want to go there.
He gets struck by lightning. Go ahead. It's the first episode.
It's the first episode. When he gets struck by lightning, he gets to what he, as the old pharmaceutical doctor knows, like when you get struck by lightning, you get lightning burn. What he believes is lightning burn on his arms, but it's essentially the mark of this world's god, and it's based off of like old gods of like Japanese origin or whatever. But he gets 2 marks of that god, and essentially he starts to discover that he is extremely fucking powerful as a divine arts wielder is what they call him. But he's basically brought up in his extremely rich family. They had fucking he goes to his tutor, this I'm gonna save the tutor part because the tutor part was the best part of the fucking show. It was insane, but he essentially becomes more powerful. But with his power, he gains the ability to do all kinds of different shit. So essentially, the way that divine arts works in his world, you think about the molecular. Well, he thinks about the molecular structure of, elements, and he's able to cast water, basically. That's how he determines that. That's how divine arts work. When he determines that, he then determines that, what if I do this? And you think about the molecular structure of
chemicals and...
Exactly. And he creates different forms of just rocks and shit and blah, blah, blah. Kind of like World's Finest Assassin did. So he basically does that, but he kind of like keeps it on the low, because if the world was basically find out what he got, they would be essentially consider him either a god or a monster. So
that's almost similar to like what was that called, Wise Man's Grandchild?
Yes. Similar to that, but very, very fucking, very, very crazy first episode. Had me like, yo, what the fuck?
And it's a lot of good isekai this season, because I was literally just thinking about, what is it called, Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
did you watch that first episode?
Yes, I did, on a site that shall not be named, so I can get it uncensored.
But it was good though. It was good, and I was actually surprised with how it played out in the beginning. I really enjoyed that introduction to it, and like how they just said, who spews this much blood when you're killing them?
And again, yeah, true. Not realizing that you actually doing this.
Real blood, bro. And then when he realized it was blood, he like looked at his hand like, nah, that was good.
What's good about that one though? What's good about that one is the fact that it shows how this can be, because you think about it, like in games, when you just end the game and you fucking I agree to all of the fucking terms and conditions of video games, especially MMOs. They be having like 6 of those screens. Right. When you hit the I agree terms, he didn't read the agree terms, and the agree terms, once you log in, you can't get out.
Yeah, it did say. Did you pause it and read it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I was about to say, because I didn't pause it and read it, but I saw it said, "Are you fucking?" I'm like, okay, but he need to go ahead and get ready, because he is not coming back from this if he do this.
And he did not read it, so he got fucked. But again, they set up the world pretty well with explaining how shit works from the start. Now, what I don't like about this show so far is I can already tell he's going to be kind of scummy when it comes to these women. Like, if I get a harem, right, I want them to not be scummy. Like, even though I enjoy my mindless high school DxD, I don't want him to be like that though. I want
a classy harem.
Yeah, I be the shy kid or some shit. Like, be the overly embarrassed dude instead of this fucking scummy, touchy-feely. Because it feels, unless they down for it. If they down for it and it's consensual, then I'm okay with it. But if not, then it feels weird. So I'm hoping that
it is technically consensual. But come on, man, it's a slave.
Exactly my point. All right, where were you going to go next? Sorry.
The only other thing I was going to say is I didn't watch this one, but I was going to ask you if you have. It's The Uncle from Another World.
No, I did not. That's
another isekai, but it's a comedy adventure one. I didn't know if we was going to jump into that one, but I'm going to try and watch that one too. Yeah, let me give you a little taste of what that one's about, because I did see a little thing about it. So that one's about an uncle who comes back from an isekai. This is the very first, very unique. So he comes back from being isekai back to his normal world, but when he comes back, he still have all the powers. So you can only imagine how fucking silly that's going to be. The art style is extremely different. It's extremely gritty, and kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Rough. Mm-hmm. Not rough in the sense of like Mob Psycho rough, but like rough as far as like sketch artistically, right? It's like it has a sketch look to it, so it's super unique. I might check it out. When I saw the art styles, I was kind of turned off, and normally I would still give it a chance because of that synopsis seems so interesting, being returning from an isekai world, and he basically he's sitting in the hospital, he's talking to his nephew like, hey, this is what happened, and he's retelling the stories and is explaining what happened in the isekai world while still him being in the normal world with his powers. So very interesting so far. So I get to come home with my powers. Come the fuck on, bro. Come on, bro. That's a isekai. Let me go ahead and turn this world upside down with these powers I got from Inte Isla or some shit like that.
Yo, true. Okay, so Tell,
what's up?
We talked about Call of the Night. The music in that was also fire, by the way.
Yes, agreed.
But we talked about Black Summoner. Mm-hmm. What's another one we can discuss?
Another standout for the season. We know we're gonna talk about Made in Abyss this season.
Oh yeah. Oh fucking. Oh god, yeah, bro. Let's talk about that. Thank you, because you just jolted my memory. I cannot believe I almost forgot about this. Okay. Oh shit, there's another one too. I almost forgot about. Fuck, Tell. This is about to be a long episode. Strap in, buckle up, because I forgot to mention. Okay. My stepmom's daughter is my ex. Mm-hmm. Fucking fire. Now, I thought it was going to be trash. I thought it was going to be atypical, kind of like beefing brothers. It's so much more than that. It's so interesting because these two characters, particularly the guy character, the main male character. Yeah. Fuck, he gives off Hachiman vibes. You could basically think about this as My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, the after story, essentially, because it feels like he made his choice, and when he made this choice, he's now living with the situation, and unfortunately, they broke up. And when they broke up, mom and dad end up finding each other and getting married. Obviously, his mom and dad has no idea of their past relations, so this is something completely new to them, but they move in together and their goal is to just come off as perfect brothers and sisters for their mom and dad while they can't fucking stand each other because they're exes. And it is so fucking good because the male character, he's extremely smart and analytical. He's anime-lytical. Shout out to Johnny. You also have the female character who's trying her best to like determine what the fuck he's thinking, because you can't fucking read him at all, because that's the type he's Hachiman-esque. Like, that's the type of character he is. You can't fucking figure him out. And It's like this fucking game to them. Not Kaguya-sama Lover's World kind of game, but like definitely unique, because he has like, it was so fucking good, man. I'm like, all you had to do was compare it to My Teen Romantic Comedy for me, and it was going on the list. Because you already know how I feel about My Teen Romantic Comedy. That's a good ass anime right there. This first episode was extremely refreshing. A lot different than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be honest with you. So I turned this on like, fuck it, I ain't got shit else to watch. Fucking turn it on. And I'm sitting here with the fucking, my hand on my chin face, like, all right, let's see what this is about. And I gradually started sitting up in my chair more and more. And I crossed my fingers and I'm looking deeper and deeper into the show. I'm like, damn. And then something happens in the show and you're just like, oh shit. So I'm not gonna say it, but I think everybody should watch this one and find out what that moment is I'm talking about. Next week I would you got to tell me what that first episode, because obviously episode 2 is gonna be out by the time this airs, but for the first episode, that moment where you're just like, oh shit, that's what's going on. I'm gonna see if you feel the same way I feel about who our main character is. It's very, very intriguing.
Now, you got a little amped when we talked about Made in Abyss.
Oh my god!
So I watched that movie,
bruh. Okay. All right.
that movie was a whole lot, bro. Okay. That movie was a whole fucking lot. Bondrew for Dad of the motherfucking year, because oh my god, bro, is a demon. He's a demon.
So for context, okay. There was a movie that came out about a year and a half ago called Made in Abyss.
I had no idea.
We did, though. We knew this, but I
knew the movie was out, but I had no idea he was that much of a demon. I knew he was a demon.
But we did, though. If you listen back at our episode with Blandame, we talked about this motherfucker's probably a demon, because we we all said the same thing, both Blandame and us. But we talking about what we're referring to as Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep. So now, if you watch Made in Abyss season 1, you must watch Dawn of the Deep Soul, because that is the prequel. That is where season 2 starts right after that, almost essentially. Right. But fuck, bro. To talk about Dawn of the Deep Soul first, that movie, I seriously had to pause that movie 3 or 4 times to get up and just breathe, bro. I had to get this shit out of my mind. I'm like, yo, I gotta go do something else. Bro, I swear to God, this is true. This is a true story. When I got up one time, I opened my refrigerator and my food was starting to get condensation because I just held my fucking refrigerator open for about 15 minutes because I couldn't go back and sit down and watch this fucking movie, bro. I was, for one, okay, watching this shit, the music, bro. I so many times I wanted to fucking cry because just the music
was top fucking tier,
so fucking good. Like it was fucking crushing me how good the music was. And the moments that it would come in and it would go away and it would come back in and it was build and swell.
It was all of that, right? And not, just to kind of add to what you were saying, what made it more impactful was that like it kind of gave us this like steady burn into what was about to happen, right? This like. I guess it felt like they was easing us into it, but we knew what was about to happen, right? They said he's waiting for y'all. We knew what was gonna happen when he waiting for y'all, because no demon, we know he ain't playing.
What he did to fucking, oh my god,
Melty, we knew that it was gonna be on some chaos when we get there. We get there and we think it might be a chance that he ain't on some trash. He got a daughter.
Okay, so yeah.
I'm gonna try and be less spoiler. We think, but he got a kid here. We thinking he ain't gonna be on that BS, but he on it.
Oh my god, he's on it.
He on it. He doesn't care. And
watch the movie, please.
But what made me feel all the things you felt is like how they paced it, right?
Fucking
like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This movie high key was like a 10 out of 10.
Yes, I agree.
Because everything was just done right. And the thing is that they didn't have to build characters for us. We already know the characters, and it's except for one. And the other one, we just got more information on that one, more or less. But it was like these characters were exactly what we expected, and they just either or got better, and things just it was just on point the whole time. And then when we think things, we got a second to calm down, it was like, nope, back into action. And then it was like, cool, we finally beat what's about to happen and back into action. I was like, oh my god, like, bro, this is intense. This is a lot.
It was stressing me the fuck out, bro. Like
Dragon Ball could never
I don't even think no show could ever. Unfucking believable, man. Even okay, because I don't want to go into deep Dawn of the Deep Sea.
Yeah, I try to avoid that.
We want to avoid the spoilers. The movie was fucking fantastic. 10 out of 10 movies, honestly. Like truly.
I'd buy it. I ain't even gonna lie to
you. Me too. I was just thinking that same fucking thing. I will buy this shit. I don't even have anything to watch it on, but I will buy it.
I got these Browns on speakers. I watched on them boys. I was like, oh my god, bro.
Music was okay. But and it led into episode 1. Even watching episode 1, I'm like, come, this is too much.
Mm-hmm. But we got new characters.
Yeah, new characters. And it was from a different perspective of somebody going down into the abyss from a whole different part of the world, which is extremely intriguing to even think about, right? Like the Made in Abyss world is way bigger. And they've done a good job, even in season 1, of establishing how big the world actually is, even with our small little characters, which is extremely unique. You think about it, how many episodes was Made in Abyss season 1? Let me see. Because it felt like it was like 26.
But I don't think it was that many. I think it was just 12, bro.
That's fucking crazy. Because they did all of that building from the top side. They did the building and then when they even got into the abyss, they did that building down there. Oh, so good. So many fucking just twists and turns. But
that's what we be talking about when we talk about why certain anime are good.
Yes.
Get like this. Get like this, bro. Like this is the kind of anime that I want consistently.
Didn't that first episode of season 2 feel like fucking 40 minutes?
It did. And I was like, I felt like when I got halfway through it, and I wasn't doing it like to be like this is bad. I paused it and was like, well, how much time? And it said 13 minutes and like 33 seconds. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, and I just hit play again. I'll just lean back and was like, just get back into it.
Yeah,
because it was that good.
Yep, and when we got those new characters, it seamlessly transitioned to our characters. Like it was beautiful, what is it culminating to? It's culminating to the two sides coming together. And again, I don't want to talk too much about Made in Abyss, like as far as like spoilers go, because I think it's something that everybody should watch. We've been singing these praises since episode 50 of Mic Check Waifu, even before that. But episode 50, for those of you that don't, I believe it's 50. Our 50th episode was with Anime, and we did a review of season 1, and it was so much fun. Hopefully, when season 2 done, we can get them to watch it and join us again. But I can't believe storytelling can be this good. I can, but like it's rare to find something this good where you can't even think. I'm trying to think of a flaw.
The flaw was that I had to stop.
Yes,
that it was done at some point.
That it ended. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu.
Do you have an idea for a great new podcast? Well, you could bring that idea to life and start your podcast today with Libsyn. Our podcast has been on Libsyn for 3 years and we absolutely love it. Libsyn has everything you need to plan, launch, and grow your own podcast. Libsyn provides some of the best resources created by expert podcasters who will show you everything you need to know, like what equipment you should use, how to record great audio, how to get your show onto Apple Podcasts and other popular platforms, and much more. Plus, as a friend of Mic Check Waifu, when you sign up with Libsyn, you get your first month of podcast hosting for free. There's never been a better time than right now for you to start your podcasting. Visit Libsyn.com and use the code FRIEND, FRIEND. That's LIBSYN.com. Use the code FRIEND, FRIEND, to get started and create your podcast today. One I'm probably going to drop, and I'm just going to touch on this quickly, and that's Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. That fucking shit stinks. It stunk. I
felt the same.
I tried. I was trying so hard.
I'm thinking I'm gonna give it like one more episode, maybe two, and see what it's hitting for, and if that, because our main character is not interesting.
No.
He has no ambition, and it's cool. I actually like that he was running away from them.
Yes, like, I'm not about to be a part of it. That was the good part.
But it was like, giving yourself to this girl. It's
just like that. Like, fuck out of here. And then the girl she was fucking trash the moment she came in. I'm like, who the fuck is this slouch? Some
of this stuff just don't make sense.
Yeah, I was not with it. I was not with it at all. But fuck, dude, it's so much, bro. It's so much. I'm so sorry. This episode gonna be a little bit longer, but did you watch Vermeil and Gold?
I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh my god, bro. Okay,
it's good.
Yeah,
go ahead, talk.
It's actually good. Okay, so Vermeil and Gold is about a student who is a part of a magic school. Think of Shiver of Fell Night. We talked about this during our summer preview. We knew that this was going to be this type of show, but this one is different. This one is kind of interesting because in this school, every student has to have a summons for semester 2. Okay, you have to pass your exam, which is your exam is to summon a creature. It doesn't matter who the creature is or where it's from or whatever. Your exam is to summon a creature so you can get to semester 2, and then you can use that creature in different classrooms and stuff like that. So our character, he's in school, and unfortunately it starts off with him basically talking to his teacher like, hey, I can let you make up the exam because you failed. You didn't summon anything. You can't summon anything. But if you can give me a summon within this amount of time, I forget, he gave him amount of time. If you can give me a summon within this amount of time, I'll let you pass the exam. He works hard. He goes to the library to try to study and try to find a way to maybe find something he can summon. He goes to the library, and when he gets to the library, there's this book at the very fucking top shelf of this huge ass library at this magic school, and it slowly creeps out of its position and it falls on his head, opens up, and it's a summoning book. A summoning book that looks very old timey, kind of like fucking King James fucking original 1865 Bible and shit. Just falls down on his head and busts open, and he's like, oh, this is a book of summons. Let me take this back with me and try to see what I could do. He take it back with him. He opens the book and he does what opens up in the page that when they fell on his head, he opened that page up again and he did the summon. Now, when he did the summon.
Summoned some craziness.
He summoned a fucking demon. And this is a demon in the mic check waifu state, and how we call everything a demon. Well, I guess it is that too, because she's a fucking demon on top of being a demon. So he summoned a demon. She comes out, and basically it's essentially a succubus-esque demon, if you will. They didn't really say that, but it's everything until she has the horn, she has the tail, she has a big, she has it all. Let me just put it that way.
Gotcha.
And essentially she lets him know, like, yo, you were able to summon me. I'm grateful. So let's do this contract thing. Makes a contract with her. Now she's his, basically. Now the thing with summons is that you can carry him around in school. Everybody has their summons, carrying him around and shit. So basically he's carrying around this adult woman who's his summon. She's bad too. She's a bad one. But he's carrying around like, this is my summon. He has a childhood friend or a good friend or something that has a crush on him. And she, you know how these Chivalry of a Felt Knight things do. In the first episode, they always got to have that duel to showcase how this world's powers work and shit. So she duels him and like, hey, if I win this duel, then you have to get rid of that summons and then find a new one or whatever. And
they can't beat that one.
They duel. Comes to find out that she has this special wind spirit. Her special wind spirit is extremely powerful. She doesn't move. Our fucking demon blocks it like it's nothing. Goes up to her and fucking does some seducing shit or whatever the fuck. We don't get to see what she does, but she basically instantly lost. It was an instant victory for our guy, and we move on. But basically what the rule was, now she has to be friends. What he asked for her to do was to be friends with his summons. So now they have to be friends. So obviously it's going to be this little beef. But the show is extremely interesting because it seems as if the demon has ulterior motive. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's just what I'm getting from it. Basically, we've also found out that our main character has an obscene amount of mana, which is why he couldn't summon anything of
that was too weak.
That was too weak because his fucking mana pool is basically, he's demons to the people that he could have summoned. So they're like, yo, I'm not about to be summoned by that. Get me the fuck out of here. When they will see his mana pool coming from the summoning realm or whatever. And that's essentially this.
That makes sense though.
And she basically sucks his mana by kissing him. She infers that there's other ways so she can get it, but he said, okay, let's just keep to the kissing.
Smart guy.
But
you do not do it nicely.
Very interesting show though. I like it. I liked what I watched so far. At first, this was going to be because I already had the idea for the show layout already. I'm like, okay, this is going to be my surprise because this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be until I watched Parallel World Pharmacy. So that was something interesting. And then you don't have anything else, right?
Nah, I think I'm done.
Okay. Let me just make sure.
Let me make sure I'm good. Let me see. What the fuck is this called? There is one that actually caught my eye a little bit. Shine On Bakumatsu Bad Boys, right? The name itself does not really do what I feel like I watched in the beginning justice. Because I feel like the first episode was very intriguing. It's about how samurai basically fuck up the world.
Wait, this is a season 2 of something, isn't it?
Shine On Bakumatsu Bad Boys?
Yeah, I thought so. That's why I didn't watch it.
I don't see any prequels.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not. Maybe I was wrong.
But basically what happens is our main character, his family is killed by a samurai. And the monologue works in the beginning, he's talking about how long before he was born, the world was fucked up by or messed up by people before him who messed up the world. And he's going to try and fix it in the way he can. And the way he views it is by getting rid of samurai. And he hates samurais.
Oh, shit.
Now, what ends up happening is that he's a criminal because he tried to fight a samurai. Because if you understand, samurai are normally part of the government, you know, they work for the government. So you running up on samurai randomly, essentially is going to make you the bad guy.
Yep.
So he gets taken in alongside a bunch of other criminals, and these criminals, they dig a ditch, wrap their heads up in bags, and behead them.
Oh shit.
So how they show us is they basically he's getting ready to get sent off to get beheaded, and I'm like, damn, this is 5 minutes into the anime, not even. Like it was like a solid 3 minutes in the anime. I'm like, bro, it's about to get done in. But the way they did it was interesting, and then they give us this this whole scenario where our guy basically has to become a samurai to get the revenge for his family that he wants to get. So he has to become what he doesn't want to be. And even like halfway through the anime and further on, he's fighting, that ambition to be a samurai, because he doesn't really want to be a samurai. He doesn't want to use a sword.
Like they got codes and shit that I'm sure he don't want to follow.
Right, but he's not going to be able to fight the people that he's going to have to fight with just his feet and his hands. He's going to have to use a weapon. So it's interesting so far. And the art style, to me, it's like this. It almost is like, how you ever watch one of those movies, is kung fu movies, where they're writing on the paper. I'm not sure what they call it. I'm not sure. It's calligraphy, yeah, but it almost like the way that textured the paper is. It looks like that a bit, and it kind of mellows out as you get more into the anime, but it begins off like that when they kind of show like the history and the past and stuff, and it just looks so cool. But it's actually very interesting. I'm gonna give it some episodes to keep going and see if it's actually good. But the first episode was enjoyable enough. His name is Ichiban Boshi.
Hey, Ichiban. Hey, that name is for the main character, Yakuza Like a Dragon. That's dope. And that means like number one something.
Yeah, you can tell who's all the main character, because everybody who's a main character got crazy.
Got what? Wait, they got what?
Everyone who's a main character has crazy ass hair. This anime, literally everybody who is a main character, hair is wild as fuck. They like Power Rangers with the hair, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and then one more from me before we move on to Overlord 4, obviously, is when will Ayuma make his move? This is one that's kind of like that Aharian show from last season, so it might not stay on my week to week. I might just let it build up episodes and then watch them all. But I kind of like it better so far, because what it is it's about these two. It's this guy's it's a main character guy who's like this kind of bigger, kind of monotone guy with don't share his expressions per se on his sleeve. Definitely share his emotion, but he doesn't share his expressions too often. Like he doesn't change his expressions. But he's basically in this shogi club with with his senior, basically, or his senpai as he calls her, and she's basically trying to teach him how to play shogi, or she's just playing him a shogi to show him the ropes and shit like that. But she's like fucking great at it, and his goal is to basically beat her in shogi once before he confesses his love to her, and her goal is to just get him to confess his love to her because she likes him too. So kind of Kaguya-sama Love is War-esque, but like a lot less, dodgy and cryptic. This is more so of she kind of likes him. She kind of knows he likes her, because what he does, he goes balls to the wall. He's just like, hey, I think you're fucking cute. I think you're beautiful. I think you have an amazing smile. He just says all this shit that is super embarrassing to her that she enjoys, and she's like, kind of like, well, you should ask me out then, and kind of doing shit like that. But he's like, all right, that's enough playing these games. Let's get back to shogi. Like he's internally trying to internalize the fact that he likes her, but he doesn't want to tell her until he can beat her at shogi. And essentially she doesn't know that, so she keeps kicking his ass in shogi. So it seems cute. Something I'm not going to talk about probably next week or the week after, or
but to make his move is that's not a double entendre, is it? Because he's supposed to be making his move to get with her, but he's also supposed to be making his move in shogi, right?
You a real one. That is a double entendre. You go, so. All right, man. And then Overlord 4.
Hold up.
Oh,
we gotta take Overlord into spoiler talk.
We are, but we obviously got to discuss it for the people too. Like we got to tell them how we feel about it before we go into spoiler talk. So, quick thoughts of Overlord 4 episode 1. Initial thoughts.
I always love when this anime, and we talk about this specifically in general.
Yeah,
I love when isekai get political.
Yes.
And I don't mean political in like the real world sense. I mean like political in their world. and what Ainz did in this episode in terms of, politicking, world building, and building his kingdom.
Yes.
Fucking greatness, man.
It starts off as almost every season of Overlord does, with helping you understanding what's next. At the beginning of Overlord, they always determine what's next. And beautiful setup for what's next. And we're going to talk about that in spoiler talk. So, speaking of, going into spoiler talk, before we get to know My Check Waifu, what are we taking to spoiler talk this week? Usually we do 3.
So, for sure it's going to be Overlord. I think Clash from the Elite will make it there. And we still doing summertime rendering.
Yeah.
The Devil is a part-timer. I'm just gonna be honest with you. When that airs, I'd rather have that in spoilers than Clash from the Elite. But we gonna see, because I don't know yet, man. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I gotta watch this next episode. We'll see what this is like. But I don't know. What do you think we should do for spoiler talk
for just this week? Let's do.
We got Made in Abyss too, though.
Oh shit! I mean, there's our 3 right there, right? Fuck.
Oh my god. We might have to rotate spoiler week a bit, man.
Yeah, we might have to.
Spoiler every week.
Okay, so we're not gonna talk about Made in Abyss this week. Let's throw in My Isekai Life for spoiler talk this week.
Okay.
Because we didn't really talk about that in the first half of the show as detailed as we did everything else. But I think we do. I think it does deserve that. Yeah. So when we come back, well, no, let's get to know My Check Waifu now. This is part of the podcast where one of us rolls a random number generator. The other reads a question associated with that number. How many questions is in the list?
19.
Hey, 19 questions.
We almost done. We almost out there, and we gonna refresh our questions.
2 8s. That's 16.
Wait, what'd you say?
2
I was thinking like, wait, 28? No, you meant 2 8s. All right.
Yeah.
We got I mean, this ain't gonna matter. What's your favorite holiday?
There you go. That's my favorite holiday. Nothing. I don't have one.
Your birthday?
No, I don't consider my birthday a holiday.
It is. We celebrate you on your birthday. Polo's favorite holiday is a day Mike check waifu.
There it is. There it is.
Although
or something like that.
Although I currently am not a big holiday person, Christmas has always been big for my family when we were back in Cleveland. So I do love the spirit of it in terms of like being with family and shit. But I don't really celebrate Christmas because I don't really fuck with that. But I love being around family and what that means. So that's really about it.
I fucking hate snow. I hate Christmas music. I hate all of it. That sounds like the fucking Grinch. But I can't
let's be real though. I don't like Christmas music either.
It's so fucking gross to me. It's like gross to my ears. It's grating, if you will. All I want for Christmas. I can't stand that shit.
I'm gonna say the only Christmas music I did like was what's his name, Michael Jackson.
I hated that too.
But everything else, it was not it for me, man.
Just nothing about Jingle Bells, rocks. Just nothing. Yep. None of that shit is good. And in the snow, I can't. I mean, I hate snow all the time in anything like MMOs.
But you won't be seeing snow anytime soon. You hate snow in MMOs.
I hate snow. I'm telling you, even if they got it in MMOs, video games, the only time snow was acceptable to me was when Red Dead Redemption 2 dropped. And that first level, when you're on your horses and you getting out of the blizzard with Arthur and the gang, that shit was so dope because it was just so.
I'll be playing SSX tricky and be like, nah, it's too much snow. It's too much snow.
Time out though. Take that was
snow out the game.
That game has a special fucking place in my heart because that was my first PS2 game ever. Shout out to my auntie Tyan for buying us that PS2 for Christmas.
He said, too much snow. Take it out the game, man. The music is good, man. But I need it on skates because we ain't doing the snow.
SSS Tricky got a special place in my heart though. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a good ass game, bro.
It really is. It really is. All right. When we come back, we're gonna spoil Overlord 4. My Isekai Life and Summertime Rendering. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to episode 160 of Mic Check Waifu. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe. Check out the video versions of the podcast. We have a couple of people watching us there. I do want to give a shout out to somebody, and this could be you, but you playing. But I don't know why I went there. Give me a second here. There he is, MJSTX, for commenting on the YouTube video and saying, "Hey, keep them coming." We appreciate you for watching them, man. We appreciate you. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube, youtube.com. Just search Mic Check Waifu. You'll find it. All right. So before we get into the spoiler talk, while you were away during the break, Till, I received a tweet. I received a tweet from _lightskin Rob J. He says, I don't know if y'all talked about this, but Chainsaw Man manga is back tomorrow. How y'all feeling about it? He said just general thoughts. You don't have to go into spoilers or anything. But how you feeling about Chainsaw Man being back tomorrow?
I enjoyed the manga. I know you binged it.
Yeah,
didn't you? Here's my thing. And I'm not sure if this is like a testament to how good it is or not. But I feel like I gotta let it build up before I start reading it. Like I don't want to just jump right back into it immediately. So I'm gonna let it go. There's very few manga I read week to week. Yeah.
While I thought the manga was okay, I just thought it was okay. Am I excited about it coming back? I'm excited about it coming back because I feel like I do want to see this arc that he's going into now with kind of trying to live a pseudo normal life, right? But like,
we know how that's gonna turn out,
right? I don't really care that much, to be honest. I don't really care that much as much as I care about JJK's manga. I think Chainsaw Man is going to be fine. It's going to be a good. You know what I'm dreading? I'm gonna just fucking say I don't care. This is year 3. I'm dreading Chainsaw Man coming out as the anime, and the reason why I'm looking forward to watching it, but I'm dreading it coming out because it's gonna be like those same 3 people that watch like One Piece, fucking what is it? What's the fucking show with the high school kids, gang members?
Tokyo
Revengers. Vinland Saga. It's gonna be those people that watch those 3 or 4 shows that are gonna fucking suck the dick off of Chainsaw Man, and it's gonna annoy the shit out of me because those, I'm gonna be honest with you, those are the most fucking intolerable people to deal with on the Twitter timeline. Not that I give a fuck about the Twitter timeline anymore because I don't really navigate it as often as I used to. But those people are going to irritate the fuck out of me. I'm going to see this is greater than Bleach fucking arrows. I'm going to see this is greater than JJK arrows for the anime. Like, the anime is going to be fine. The story of Chainsaw Man itself is just fine. I don't want to deal with the bullshit, bro. I just don't feel like dealing with the bullshit. I know those fucking same... Those are like the people, you know what those remind me of? I'm fucking going off right now. I'm popping off. Those remind me of the people that play Madden, that play 2K, and that play Assassin's Creed every year and no other game in the video game world. Like, those are those type of people. I.e. like my brother and shit. Like, those are those type of people I couldn't stand in the video game world that I can't stand in the anime world. That watch Vinland Saga, One Piece, JJK.
Polo said y'all the people that play 2K and you could just update the roster in the game, but instead you go out and buy the new game
every fucking year
with no extra incentives to actually play the new game.
And they paying $150 for those V-Bucks or whatever the fuck they use for their my players and shit. Like, those are those type of people, and I'm not gonna enjoy.
While this is a spoiler section, this is also a slight Polo is not slandering you section.
I'm slandering.
Saying what it is. Well, he's just saying what it is.
If you offended by it, I guess what? I don't really give a fuck. That just means broaden your horizon, expand a little bit. Fucking the James Webb Telescope is launched in the air, and we taking pictures of the earliest parts of the galaxy while you still watching fucking Vinland Saga and calling it the best shit ever.
I gotta get some artwork with that picture, bro.
Vinland Saga is great. Don't get me wrong, but there's so much more that's even better than Vinland Saga. I said it. It is. Vinland Saga is great. But
obviously,
it's so much shit better than it. It's so much shit better than JJK. It's so much shit better than fucking Tokyo Revengers. Like, those, fuck, I can't stand those people. All right, sorry. I had to pop off a little bit. Do I put the antagonist music behind that? Nah, I ain't got time for that shit. Maybe I do. Maybe I'll pop a little pain in the back of that.
Oh man,
because I'm about to be chilling. We recording in this 7. This is the difference between when we're recording that late at night and we're recording at fucking 7:30 p.m. or 6:30 when we started.
It's like he got some energy or something.
I'm popping the fuck off.
This is not a rant section. We don't rant in this part of the podcast.
I know. Shout out to Rob for doing that. Damn light skin Rob J. Have a good time at DreamCon, bro. Thanks for listening as always, man. Let me know. Let me know what you think about what I said there. But yeah, let's get into the spoiler talk. I think we should start off. I think we should save My Isekai Life last. Give people time to watch that first. Like, hey, go watch My Isekai Life, and then come back to that spoiler.
Yeah.
And then start off with Summertime Rendering or Overlord 4.
Summertime Rendering, I guess, because that's already been on our bucket list or on our menu in general.
That's smart,
right?
Yeah.
Summertime Rendering, we can just start there.
You kicking facts, hot fire. Summertime Rendering is fucking still great, dude. What the fuck? Okay, so this fucking, you know what the show does good?
Everything.
Yeah, but beat your ass with a curveball, bro. When Renosuke came flying out the fucking window with his arm, her arm blown the fuck off. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? Because I was expecting it to go the exact same, and they set me up for that. And I was expecting it, and I didn't expect anything more. I was truly shocked when I saw her come flying at him. It's hard to say because it's a split personality type of thing, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. When you saw her fly out the fucking window, bro, like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, because I thought that was it. Because the big motherfucker hopped out. When the big motherfucker hopped out with the 4 arms, he grabbed Shinpei. And when he grabbed Shinpei, I'm like, oh, well, that's it. Nah, motherfucker, that ain't it. Cause Yushio say swipe, motherfucker.
He gets hit right the fuck off. But hear me out.
I was blown back.
Here's the thing about Summertime Rendering. I know I say this every week. They give us information.
Yes, bro.
Every fucking time.
That you don't even think about until
what's crazy is that we said this. We said this about her branding him episodes ago.
Yes, man.
And yet, for the first time, the brand has been mentioned by not only our main
protagonist. He said, I don't know why his mic cut out.
Oh, my bad. It not only has it mentioned by our protagonist, but our antagonist now.
Yes.
And it's beautiful in a sense because that's been there.
We always had that thought.
For what, like 4 episodes?
Yes,
5
sir.
episodes at this point?
Yes, sir.
And it hasn't gone away. But we know that it's actually there for tracking him. Mm-hmm. She knows where he is. She knows what's going on. And we also know that she can go through Renosuke's memories.
How did that happen?
I don't think they've given that to us yet, though.
I thought they did. The reason being is because you remember when he grabbed the gun, when Hizuru grabbed the gun and Hizuru grabbed Shinpei or something, or Ushio or something like that, protecting her from being shot by our old dude. That's when all the memories flashed up, and that's when I'm assuming that happened.
It could be that, I'm just grasping at straws when I say this, because we did see that when he touched Ushio, the memories all came in. I think that maybe Renosuke, his memories themselves are like actually just like a shadow, like
a copy.
You would. Yeah, think of like how Hizuru is the real person, but the memories themselves are just another copy paste, like a shadow. Yeah. So that's why Hein would be able to go in and see what's going on, because she can see essentially all the shadows, right? Mm-hmm. They're all a part of her. So if his memories are just another part of the shadow, then that's what it is.
That's hard.
That's. I'm not sure yet though, because they ain't gave us that information.
Yeah, that's a good thought though.
When they give us information, It's fucking crazy every single time. But like you said, once Ushio chopped our boy up this time, they go into essentially
Kizaru's memory.
Yeah, they go into what they call scenes, and that's why I love that, right? Because if initially it didn't come off across as scenes, it came off across as they were just intangible in the regular world, right? So he's walking around, he says, "Oh, the scene changed." And I love that because it's called summertime rendering. You would think as an artist or a photographer or something like that, calling it a scene was beautiful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm glad you felt that too, bro.
Yes, sir. You already know.
But we see, was that was Ryunosuke and Hizuru walking to the cafe. Mm-hmm. They walk in the cafe. We see our main character cannot open the door, so he just kind of phases. Scene change. They go inside. They're seeing the interaction. We get to see how our characters are reacting with other people. Hizuru is her normal uncomfortable self and
awkward and shit.
Yeah, when it comes to these environments with a ton of people. Yeah. They leave. Scene change. They're in front of the hospital.
The old rundown hospital. Now, what's interesting about that is I'm gonna just say it was the very fucking end. Mm-hmm. She knew Haine from whatever scene that was or whatever memory that was. She already knew her. Why? We won't know for probably another 3 episodes. But why, bro?
Why they playing with us like this, bro?
I don't know. What do you think that could be?
I think
Haine just fucking manipulating.
I don't know if it's manipulating, but I think that it's definitely manipulation because she already manipulated the family before into just taking care of her and making them think that if she gave them a shadow and made them feel like this your wife the entire time, then she can do clearly other things too. We don't know the extent of what the shadows can do. We, like I said, when we saw that she had coral and other non-living things or things that need to be at the bottom of the ocean to even exist on land, at this point, can houses be shadows? Buildings be shadows? What is the capacity of these shadows?
Yeah, listen. This explains why Hizuru has this such drive to correct what's going on this island, because she didn't have to come back and do the shit that she's doing, but I think she feel like she needs to because of that memory that she had of Haine and who meeting her and possibly contributing to this whole fucking thing in the first place. Like, she probably woke some shit up back then, and that's what led to her becoming friends with this quote unquote ghost girl. And now she probably opened up the whole can of worms for this entire island to be what it's going through right now. And that's why she feels this obligation to return it back to normalcy. Because again, why the fuck would she have to come back from that Ushio message? Like, that Ushio message, came to her phone and she decided to come back because of that. But she didn't have to, And from the way the show is structured, I feel like she knew that. So, I ain't got to worry about this shit no more. I'm out. But it is probably because her brother was living with her, in a sense. And she's like, I got to get this revenge for my brother too. So that could be it. But who knows? We don't know until they fucking tell us. The writer said, nah, you gonna know when we tell you, bitch.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know. All right. Let's move on. Overlord 4, bro.
Hard to move on. Something so good. All right, Overlord.
As we determined, that politicking usual is fucking sick, man.
So, as y'all heard before, we talk about the politicking. Not only does our guy Lord Ainz Algun, the Sorcerer Kingdom King. Oh my goodness,
it's a nice ring, right?
Right. Not only did he come through with some new threads dripping in red and gold, though. Ugh.
You like
the
this
red
shit?
with the trim gold? I'm like, come on, bro. I did, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I thought that shit looked silly.
First of all, you said you think it looks silly?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just like red, bro.
I know. Well, me too. I get it.
And I think it would have looked better had he had some kind of, I guess, almost like a head ornament or something that just didn't make his head look so awkward because he's just a big ass skeleton with like a red ass robe on. But it's like, yeah, if he legit had like a little, it didn't even have to be like a thick ass crown. It could have just been like a little ass crown or something like that. Something that just showed that he irons out fucking goon. But the fucking robe, if he was a human with that on, we would have thought that was hard.
That probably would have been better. Yeah, you're right. Like a normal sized human instead of this big ass cocky ass undead. Wait, how you cocky and undead? I don't know.
Right. But I enjoyed how that looked. But also him what he was signing off on laws and stuff, right?
Yeah, determined on whatever the fuck changes that they were going to make.
Even though he couldn't read them. Yeah. I think he could get the gist of them, but he couldn't read them.
Right. And he was just kind of stapling off. He even put some shit out there, and Albedo wasn't for it. Like
he was like, that sounds horrible.
Uniformity. Like, I don't know who decided to write that in there, but we're gonna make sure we fucking behead him for doing it. It's like, oh, it was me. I thought it was a good idea. But obviously he don't. It seems like Momonga or Eyes don't know shit about governance. So this is going to be interesting to see what binge'r and Albedo come up with, because them two are the ones that's kind of politicking, really. I wanted to save this for this first episode because I wanted to see if they were going to do it. There was something that was cut out of season 1 that's extremely interesting to me. And maybe it's going to come later, but I doubt it. But I want to see what you think of this, because this is something that was in a light novel that's not here. Albedo, during season 3, Albedo asked Ainz if she could set up a task force with Pandora's actor. Okay, so it's gonna be Pandora's actor and Albedo, and they're going to be tasked with, with a few underlings or whatever, with finding people or investigating, while he runs the kingdom, investigating people they feel came from Yggdrasil, or trying their best to find people that came from Yggdrasil. But the theory going out there is she asked for that position because what she wants to do, okay, this is just a theory. The task force is real, but the theory is that she wants to find people from Yggdrasil so she can kill them, because she feels like if anybody else is from Yggdrasil, they're going to take away Ainz from her. What do you think about like them removing the whole task force thing of Albedo and Pandora's actor finding people from Yggdrasil? Nobody knows, not even people in the light novel knows what Albedo was going to do when she found them, but just them cutting that out made me even more curious as to why they did that.
That's hard, because I almost feel like we gotta read the light novel more to really get into that detail, right? Because Albedo, while she has this undying allegiance to Ainz, she rarely agrees with what Ainz agrees with. Until, he says, this is what I want to do. And it kind of plays out in a good way. Now, I think that the thing is with that is that I don't think that the idea of Ainz leaving, like Ainz won't leave them.
Yeah, that's not
he values them.
We know that.
You talking about like them being strong enough to take him?
No. We know that Ainz isn't going anywhere. That's not his initial goal. Even if they find people at Yggdrasil, we just thinking about the mindset of somebody who's been programmed to be madly in love with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's thinking like, oh,
so she's trying to eliminate anything that could possibly
any possible threat to him being removed from power or the game or whatever, this world.
So basically what you're saying is he created a demon by saying madly in love with me in the setting.
That's exactly what the theory is, because why else would she want to find Yggdrasil players? Like, she don't give a fuck about her creator anymore. Like, her creator don't exist to her no more. It's all about Ainz. And she in the light novel, she also, because you're right, we should read it, but I don't. It's a lot. It's like 800 some pages per fucking volume. It's too much. But she hates the fact that he took the name Ainz because she fell in love with Momonga, Like there's things about Albedo that's like she just internally can't stand that Ainz is doing, because she feels Momonga is the greatest being of all time. It's her baby, her love, and that's who she wanted him to be. Like, for instance, they actually kept this scene, which was in the light novel too, where the Ainz Gon, like the flag of Ainz, was knocked down in his room when she was in there. It was on the floor. They showed that scene for a split second, but it was on the floor because she hates the name Ainz, because that means it envelops it's not Momonga. She hates the name Ainz because it's not Momonga, and she's madly in love with Momonga. So like there's a lot of small shit that with that slight change, that slight tweak he did to Albedo, that completely changes who she is and how she acts towards everything. So that's a small little piece of just some intriguing story that I feel like was is not as prevalent in the well, it's kind of prevalent because we can tell like she's fucking crazily in love with him, with the whole lab situation.
Right, and that makes sense. But I would love to see that develop more, because that's actually a really good plot point, because you would think that although she doesn't want to necessarily fight Ainz, it would put her in a position to unintentionally create an issue for.
Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly right. That's exactly how I felt about it too. It's intriguing, man. It's so intriguing. That world is intriguing. I think I'm gonna buy the volumes of the manga just to have them on my bookcase over here. Just because I'm just so invested in like what that is, and I just think it's so good. But
so my question to you is, what do you feel about him and his proposition to the Adventurers Guild?
That
shit was gold.
Yeah, okay, good. I felt like that was the best shit that we've gotten probably in a very long time. Now, hear me out. That idea, instead of having adventures just be police, making them into something that serves them so they can serve him, is fucking genius. Now, did Ainz come up with that? I think he did that on his own. Because obviously binge'r and Albedo think of these fucking people as trash. So I think he did that on his own because of his knowledge of MMOs and how important adventurers guilds are in the world of MMOs. Him taking his real life knowledge of MMOs and utilizing that in this new world, quote unquote, new world, because I still personally, this is just something I don't know yet. I still feel like this is Yggdrasil, just in like the future or the actual world, while Yggdrasil took place in the heavens. But like, that's just my theory. That's like, I heard that from nothing, from all the research I've done. That's just literally my idea. But like, I feel like that he is like knowing that the Adventurer Guild being important and building that back up to be something so powerful that no other kingdom will be able to fuck with him, because every other kingdom, like he said in the show, like other Adventurers Guild is not even a part of the kingdom technically. And with that, they can literally do whatever the fuck they want and become rogues and just do all kinds of crazy shit to the king that caused the other kingdoms problems. Not in the supreme fucking sorcerer kingdom king world. Right. He's gonna make them. He's gonna congeal them into something like a fucking force to be reckoned with.
And like he said, and like you said as well, that concept of them being security, because his people, they can go out into the world, they can do whatever the fuck. If he wanted to take over the next neighboring country, he definitely could. The issue is that they're not friendly. They can't make friends in neighboring countries. Like, yeah, Sebis can, but that's one out of however many fucking servants, right?
Yeah.
So we got one person who can actually legitimately go out into the world and make a friend. You're not really getting much adventuring, or you're not finding out much. But if you can actually have an adventurer's guild, right? And the cool thing is that the way I see it is because the adventurer's guild it's not necessarily an independent company. It's individuals who can travel from land to land, kingdom. They always have somewhere to go and pick up work and go and do something. So that means that you can go be an adventurer in 3 other kingdoms. You come to the Sorcerer King's kingdom and say, okay, I want to pick up a quest here and I'm going to go adventure here. Now all of your knowledge of adventuring and traveling is beneficial not just to you, but it's beneficial to this kingdom. And you might actually find more purpose in staying there. That's his whole point, is that he's giving people a purpose to stay here, but also travel here, so he can see. Irons is a genius, even if he's not intentionally being a genius. I'm pretty sure he thought of this himself, but that's a genius move.
It really is. It truly is like the most like thoughtful he's been as himself. Because again, whenever he has to take his knowledge of MMOs and utilize it, that's when he's at his top, like his peak. Whenever he's like doing normal politics and shit, obviously that's not for him. So
right.
I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen next. We get a new episode by the time this episode airs. So Tuesday is when Overlord comes out, as well as Mic Check. So y'all got a double treat on Tuesdays this season. I absolutely love it. I think this season is going to be special. We shall see what it looks like when shit starts to hit the fan, though. If that ugly ass 3D come out again. CGI, I mean, not 3D. Same thing. But hopefully it's proper now.
All right, hopefully.
All right. And then moving on. We don't have to stay on this too long because this has already been a long episode, but that's fine. Shout out to my Isekai life. We didn't really go into detail on it. What did you think about your sleeper first 2 episodes? Because didn't they drop first 2 episodes?
Yeah, first 2 episodes. How our character himself, he's that kind of, I feel like he's the kind of main character we normally like. Quiet, calm, analytic. He's not as like high energy and whatever, but he is still very I would say aware of his surroundings and situations.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like about it? I like
What's
that.
up?
I like that his previous life is leaked into this one. So you know how people when
and
they
art style they do for it.
Yeah, well, you know how when he come from another world, they get excited. They're like, "Oh, another world, time to live." Blah 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 blah. No, he's like, "Look, I was an office jockey or junkie or whatever. I've been taken advantage of, and literally it killed me. It literally killed me. So I'm coming to this new world with my same. Listen, I'm fucking melancholy. I'm a fucking worker." And I just do work. And you could tell he has PTSD from his past life, essentially.
Yeah.
And that PTSD is going to be probably the only antagonist that's going to affect him because this motherfucker is powerful.
Yeah, he actually is pretty ridiculous. And you could see what you're talking about in the second episode. Talks about, okay, these girls are trustworthy, but the guy that was helping, he finds out who he is, what he's, and kind of handles that situation relatively quickly. Yeah,
and he's like, I mean, even with those girls, he's like, I trust them and all, but I feel like I'm gonna be the one doing all the work here, and I don't really want to go through that again. Like you could tell that shit is gonna keep coming up and keep poking them and keep poking them and keep poking them until something happens. You know, I don't know.
What's got to be cool about it though, and I almost feel like it's meant to be that someone who probably was doing all the work in a previous life now is a summoner.
But the thing is you would think it's still him though. That's what they oh, never mind.
It's still technically like his power, but if you saw, like, he can cast his power through the slimes.
Yeah, okay. Just make sure, because I was just about to say in episode 3, which I kind of watched ahead because it came out today and they were recording this, which is Monday, because we usually record on Sunday. Basically, when he's with these girls, he says, like, it's still me, but I'm doing it through the slimes. He says that, so
but the slimes are still technically independent of him, right? So, like, the slimes can carry stuff, do stuff. Yeah, he's using his power to enforce what the slime can do, but he also consistently will always have a team. He got Proud Wolf, and he got a shit ton of slimes.
Shout out to Proud Wolf.
Proud Wolf I feel like is outspoken half, because Proud Wolf seem a little pessimistic. How's your name Proud Wolf and you acting like that,
and you not so proud or confident? Or I like that, man. I like, you know what I like the fucking thing they do when he was on top of the tower and he was casting those spells to stop those demons from coming to that town, and he fucking pulled up his UI basically, and he was casting shit, but when he pulled it up, that animation of that camera when it twisted and did the whole curve monitor thing, and he was fucking clicking shit, I'm like, oh, that shit's dope. I'm like, that shit is so dope. I like this one so far. Like this is one you got to keep week to week. Like I got to see what happens next.
Yeah,
I got to see what happens next. Yeah, I absolutely love it. There's a deeper story, but I just the problem I see with this one though is nothing is gonna fuck with him. Like I just don't think nothing can fuck with him. Period.
At all? Nothing at all?
Mm-hmm.
And then his PTSD. You don't think he gonna run into somebody that look like a old manager or something? and he'd be like.
That'd be funny as fuck, man.
I don't know if I can deal with this.
That's my devil as a part-timer kind of comedy right there. I love that shit. But no, I don't think so. I think this is gonna boil down to is how good is the entertainment value of him being as fucking powerful as he is. Because he didn't even touch half the fucking spells he have. Like and
he even went to weaker spells.
Yeah. Yeah, like he has so too much shit. So like I think this is going to be something that's extremely interesting to see if it can carry that OP character. Like for instance, our guy from Misfit Demonkin Academy, like there was still enough there, even though he was super powerful and nothing could really fuck with him. There was still enough of a story, or enough of a world, enough of a lore that had me like very intrigued.
Anos Voldigold, the difference was that, and I think our character in this as well was nice about it, is that Anos, he didn't always go in and just wipe the enemy. A lot of times he would like see what they were capable of before attacking, right? Yeah. And I think this character is similar, right? He's gonna sit back sometimes and see what's going on and then attack. So maybe we'll have some times where it seems like he's getting overwhelmed and he'll get an attack in or something like that. But let's just hope that it's actually gonna have a good storyline to it, because I would love to see him just have a hell of a action filled and just good overall story. And if they keep blending in his past with this, I feel like it's gonna stay good.
Hey, y'all, shout out to you. You picked a good sleeper.
Finally.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, man, let's wrap.
You want me to do a recap on everything we talked about?
No, hell no. I'm at Polo Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Teliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter, Mic Check Waifu on Instagram, and look us up on YouTube, Mic Check Waifu. And as always, Mic Check.
Polo was about to have me do a whole recap on fucking what? Come on.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?